Hey everyone, welcome back. Happy end of the weekend, I guess Sunday. It's happy because Bitcoin's actually up. Well, why is it up? Well, that's because Trump posted some stuff on Truth Social, X, places like that about his Bitcoin strategic reserve. Well, not really Bitcoin strategic reserve. It was more of a crypto strategic reserve. So we'll get into that, but Bitcoin was up for it nicely today. A little concern there on the CME futures gap. There's a huge gap. We'll talk about that as well. We'll look at the miners, how they did that last week compared to Bitcoin as well. We'll look at the miners, how they did on Friday really quick as well. I didn't do a Friday stream because I got home late Friday night. So by the time I would have gotten everything ready, it would have been probably like closer to 11 o'clock, which at that point I was already dead tired. So we'll go over all that stuff here. A lot of good news as well that we have out right now. We'll get into all that. We'll cover also what I bought on Friday. I bought the dip. Hopefully you guys were able to buy the dip as well. I bought 3 companies, surprisingly. So I'm pretty sure you guys know of. Third one is probably going to maybe be a little bit of a shock for you guys there. But I did buy 3 companies on Friday as well. So we'll get into all that plus more. And as always, you guys know the drill, right? Not financial advice, for instance, only do your own research, full disclosure below that. And I need to add, actually, I already have it in there, it looks like. Okay, so it's in there. The one that I bought is in there. So if you enjoy this type of content, hit the like button, subscribe, helps me out tremendously. Okay, let's get into it here on Bitcoin here right now. Bitcoin had a huge day today on Sunday. It was up $8,246.72, up 9.59%. At one point is over 10% in gains on one day. Well, what sparked that? Well, we'll get into that here in a second here. But that was mostly from Trump. So we'll get into that in a second. But the miners, how did they do on Friday? They did okay, right? Even though Friday was a wild day, we went down as low as 84,000 or low at 78,167. Got pretty close to closing up the gap depending on which chart you look at as far as the CME futures gap. It looks like it got maybe close on some, maybe not on others, but it got really close to closing the gap there, which we can see here on Bitcoin here, which is right there, right? There's the bottom that I'm seeing here. It got very, very, very close to it right here. So that was one of the things that I talked about for quite a while, right? For a number of weeks, actually, that there's always a possibility that we might come down to that point. And sure enough, we did get down to it. So I should have taken my own advice if I had thought that this was going to really happen. I probably should have sold some of my things at the higher point prices. But that's why I keep telling you guys, I'm terrible at timing the market. But that's why I dollar cost average into it. So like I said, I did dollar cost average in on Friday as well. But yeah, that got filled. But look at this gap that we have here right now on the new day for CME futures for tomorrow. We have a gap that's between right now 85,685 roughly, and we are down to, well, 93,225. That's a sizable gap there right now. It's about, what is that going to be? About $8,000 gap. Definitely a much larger gap than we had here. So one of the things is, the powers that be might not be too keen on having this huge gap in here. They may want to drive Bitcoin down here in the new day tomorrow. It might happen. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm saying just there's a possibility that could happen where it does wake way back down and pop back up from it. Okay, maybe not. Maybe we do have enough strength here to go up higher going forward. And then eventually we may come down and fill this gap in here. I just don't know whether it's going to happen here imminently or if it's going to happen down the road like kind of what we had here where they continued to go up, right? Went sideways, and then we finally came back down and we filled that gap in. So there's always that possibility of that happening going forward. Something to be mindful of. If it does come down here and fills this gap, I think that's a buying opportunity, especially if it's happening here in the next couple of days. That would be another good entry point here at that point. Miners, for the most part, in MicroStrategy were up 6%. Miners, like you guys probably saw already on Friday, did actually pretty good, mainly because of Bitcoin going up at that point from the low all the way to the top, right, towards the end of the day here. That bode well for the miners, and they did actually really good here. ETFs were even up in the green as well, so that was good. We'll see where we end up later on today, well, in the new day, on Monday. There is some good news, at least right now. There is some signs of the miners being up double digits currently. We'll see what happens there tomorrow. If Bitcoin doesn't retrace down to that CME gap and goes further up higher, that's probably going to bode well for the miners as well. So we'll just see how they play out tomorrow. So what did I buy on Friday? Well, I bought some more Cleanspark. I bought some more IREN. I bought 130 more shares of Cleanspark, 120 more shares roughly of IREN. And then somebody asked me on Twitter if, basically a bet, right? Or at least a friendly bet at this point. So here's the tweet that I had on Friday. I bought more Cleanspark and IREN just now. Are you buying anything or are you selling? A lot of you guys responded back what you bought and things like that. Maximum Double Down actually kind of, how would you put this? Well, made a bet with me more or less. He said, Sebastian Ski, you buy just one Mara share and I'll buy my first ever Cleanspark and IREN shares. It's a 2-for-1 deal. You hold your Mara shares until above $30 and I'll do the same for both shares of Cleanspark and IREN that I buy. Do we have a deal? And then I responded, yeah, we have a deal. And I posted, what did I post? I posted, you got a deal. I just bought 120 shares of Mara. Seems like a good entry point. So I did buy 120 shares of Mara at that point. And then also Crypto Klepto got into it as well. He said that if I buy Mara and hold it, he will also buy Cleanspark and IREN. And sure enough, Crypto Klepto did buy some Cleanspark and IREN shares. He bought 60 of each. So we have a little friendly, I don't know if it's a bet. It's not really a bet. I mean, we just kind of hold on to it. It's kind of a, just a friendly wager. It's not really a wager because we're not getting anything out of it in return, but just a friendly, gosh, I don't know what to call this. A promise, I guess. I don't know, that I buy some shares, they're going to buy some shares. You know, it's all good. I love that. That's great. You know, sometimes me and Crypto Klepto can get into a little bit on just the I wouldn't say dynamics. I would just say about Mara in general. But it's all, I think, from a good place. He's definitely a Mara bull there. And so I'm in it too. I think Mara, at that price where I got into it, was definitely a pretty good entry point at that point with everything being down. So I'm like, okay, let's do this. They've been doing a lot better here as operations, things like that. So this was fun. This was fun to do. We'll see where we end up at and when Mara and some of these other guys get to $30 here. Might be sooner than we think, but we'll see. Okay, so with Bitcoin going up here in the new month right now, we are up 11.12% on Bitcoin for the month of March now. February, we were down 17.39% on the month. Not a great month, not what we were expecting. We were expecting a much better month than what we had. I was expecting at least a green month historically. I mean, we only had 2 months out of all the years where we were in the red. And sure enough, this February played out to be actually a red one. So I guess we were due for one. It's been a while since we've had one of those, so we got it. And then March is starting out to look pretty good here. We'll see if it can sustain this. I mean, it's looking really good right now because of, well, the main reason is, here, right? So Michael Saylor tweeted this. Bitcoin is the foundation of the crypto economy. So first, Donald Trump posted this. A U.S. crypto reserve will elevate this critical industry after years of corrupt attacks by Biden administration, which is why my executive order on digital assets directed the presidential working group to move forward on a crypto strategic reserve that includes XRP, Solana, and Cardano. I will make sure the U.S. and the crypto capital of the world. We are making America great again. And then later on, I guess, because he kind of omitted the two main ones here, and obviously BTC and Ethereum as other valuable cryptocurrencies will be at the heart of the reserve. I also love Bitcoin and Ethereum. So that's really lit the fire underneath Bitcoin and Ethereum as well. Both of those have been up nicely today, and that's the main reason why. But there's a lot of contention in this, right? Some people are not so for XRP, Solana, or others, or Cardano being added into the strategic reserve, crypto strategic reserve. So it's kind of interesting to see how that's playing out, where you have more of the Bitcoin maxis and everything else, which is definitely interesting to see how that's going to play out. But, you know, overall, I think this is good for the crypto space, right? Even if we have some of these other altcoins in there, potentially into it. Dennis Porter also tweeted out here, just as states are about to win the race to create strategic Bitcoin reserve, Trump pivots and announces plans to establish a reserve. If it's an executive order, he can win the race by a hair, right? Because you got Utah here already getting into chamber number 2. And then it should be, I mean, it's getting close to being enacted here. Arizona is close second there as well. So a lot of these states are in the works for getting a Bitcoin strategic reserve there, or at least a crypto. I think they're going more for a Bitcoin than just overall crypto space here on it. Let's see what else we have here. We got this one here. This is also kind of funny actually. But it's kind of nice to see that Peter Schiff is even saying that Bitcoin is probably the better one to go with. So this is this real life. This gentleman here, VJ, I can't pronounce his name, so I'm not even going to try. But Peter Schiff tweeted, I get the rationale for Bitcoin Reserve. I don't agree with it, but I get it. We have a gold reserve. Bitcoin is a digital gold, which is better than analog gold. So let's create a Bitcoin Reserve too. But what's the rationale for an XRP Reserve? Why the hell would we need that? Right. So even Peter Schiff, which has been historically a huge Bitcoin bear and against Bitcoin, is understanding why we would want to do a Bitcoin strategic reserve. But for some of the other altcoins, it's like, what is the sense in that? So that's kind of interesting, funny at the same time. It's like you had the biggest bear seeing the light of day and even commenting on this as well. So that was kind of interesting there. And then we got one more here from Florida. So Florida to buy up to 1.85 billion in Bitcoin if their SBR bill is passed. It's happening. So it's just going to be one after another where things are going to be pumping Bitcoin here north for us, which is good, which is what we want long term. We definitely want to see Bitcoin hit maybe 200,000 by the end of this year or something like that. Wherever it might end up at is going to be fantastic for us. But because of all this stuff that's happening today, the miners here, and this is from Penny Ether, I know you guys can't wait, so he posted this, and we can see here that Mara, pre-hours or after hours, whatever you want to call it, was up 14.5%. Riot was up 14.5% roughly as well. Of course, it's not traded yet, it looks like. BitDeer was up 15%. Cleanspark was up 16%. IREN up 12%. HUT up only 8%. Bitfarms up 6%. Bits Digital up 10%. So things are definitely getting nice and heated there. The nice thing is if Bitcoin would continue to actually go up, would that actually mean that the shorts start to cover, right? If they think that they're on the losing side of things, they might cover, and then we might definitely see some more explosive growth, especially in miners that are heavily shorted, like Mara, Cleanspark, other ones in there, HUT, TeraWolf, I think, as well. Who else is in there? Well, there's quite a few. We can look at it here in a second, but we got the new month happening here now. We have a good start to it. Let's see if we can maintain this momentum and get above 100,000 again in the next couple of weeks here. So it's definitely interesting times here. We'll get into the comments and questions if any of you guys have here on all this stuff. But the next thing that I wanted to take a look at here really quick was just the miners, how they did last week against Bitcoin. And it wasn't great, as you would kind of expect here. But as always, we look at the miners versus Bitcoin on the 52 weeks from their lows to where they are right now, and from their 52-week highs, how far away they are from their 52-week highs. So as of last week, CORZ is still the best performer here in the last 52 weeks. It's up 327%. Followed by Strategy, up 153%, then by BitDeer, 135, HUT, 117, IREN, 98%, Bitcoin's only up 71%. So all these guys have outperformed here Bitcoin in the last 52 weeks. These are the miners that have underperformed here. Cypher, 53%, Riot, 46, Marathon, 15, Bitfarms, 9.4, Cleanspark, 8.6, and Hive, 5.1. Cleanspark is the furthest, excuse me, furthest away from its 52-week high, 67% away, followed by Bitfarms, and then you got Hive in there, and then probably, I guess I would say BitDeer, and then Marathon, and you can see the rest of them, how they stacked up here. But for the last week, here's how things played out. Core was actually in the green, 3%. Only one that was actually in the green. Marathon was actually down 5%. BitDeer down 6%. Riot down 11%. Bitfarms down 12%, along with Bitcoin. And then we had Cleanspark being down 14%, Strategy down being 15%, Hive 17%, HUT 8%, 18%, IREN 24%, and Cypher 26%. When we look at the 4 weeks chart, things look a little bit different there. We can see Bitcoin's only down 13%. The only one that did better is actually Core, only down 11%. And then we had Cleanspark being down 29%, IREN down 34% as well. Who else do we have here that was down? Cypher 32%. Then we had Wolf or HUT down 29%, BitDeer down 26%, Hive down 27%. We had quite a few of these that were in the red along that time frame. And then 8 weeks ago, we can see that Bitcoin is only down 11%, while everybody else is down further than that. Cypher is down 18%, so that's the closest to it. And then HUT 8 is down 37%, BitDeer down 33%, Bitfarms down 28%, IREN down 25%, and you can see everybody else, how they have stacked up here. Strategy is down 22% from that point. And then when we look at the 12 weeks, Bitcoin's only down 17%, and everybody else is like almost 30% or more than that. HUT 8 is down 46%, along with Hive, BitDeer 41%, Bitfarms 40%, Cleanspark down 34%, Strategy down 37%, along with IREN. So it has not been a great 12 weeks here for the mining space or Strategy or even Bitcoin in general. So it's good to maybe get a good start to a good month here in March. But we'll see on that one. So we do have a lot of good stuff happening here. The adoption of Bitcoin continues. Trump's pumping it, it looks like, that and other crypto coins as well. So that's good, right? A lot of us were concerned with all the tariff talks. That kind of has, at least for today, has subsided. We'll see what happens later on this week. All right. I think the tariffs are supposed to go into place on, was it the 4th, I think? So that's going to be, when is it going to be? Tuesday, I think those are supposed to go into place for Canada, Mexico, and maybe others as well. I'm not sure exactly on that, how that's going to play out. But here's what we had here. So we've had 2 rough red weeks here in a row. We had 2 weeks that were kind of split, more or less. Red week, then we had some other split weeks, a full green, a red week, a green week, then 2 weeks of red here. So that's why I say the last 12 weeks have not been great for us on that time frame. So that is all I got for you guys. We're going to start getting some updates from the miners tomorrow. I'm sure Bitfarms is going to be like one of the first ones to report. We'll see if anybody else reports tomorrow as well. We'll get into it. We'll cover it. As always, I'll get you guys updated on all this stuff, and I'll get these spreadsheets that I have for you guys as well. I'll get these out either tonight or at the latest tomorrow sometime for you guys. So if you want to have access to all my spreadsheets that I do have, as always, Patreon membership, links to that is down in the description. It's $8 a month. You might be able to find a couple spots that are still open at $4 and $5. Definitely use those up. It's huge savings. And then also if you buy the annual subscription, you get I think 10% discount on top of it. Okay, so that's it. That's my sales pitch. Let's get into the Q&A side of things here. So what do you guys have to say? What are your guys' thinking on what's happening in here? Are you guys bullish? Did you guys buy anything like that? So let me work my way up. As always, if you could preface the question with a question mark or a Q, I'd appreciate it. And I'm going to work my way up a little bit here. It doesn't look like we have too many comments. So that's good. It should make it a little bit easier. Should be a quick night then. Let's see. What else? Okay, sorry, trying to read the comments and finding questions here. Carl here says, positive side, if the gap fills at 85, then moves up, that will give us a new higher low and a bullish divergence. I also bought huge on Thursday and Friday, but BitDigital, Hive, Wolf, Cypher, very nice. Kevin says, excited for Cleanspark options tomorrow. Awesome. About 50 calls last week. Okay, Carl says, already had IREN, Cleanspark, and Mara. Nice. All right. Got a question here. Do you see Cypher, IREN, and Cleanspark go to 8, 17, and 17 respectively if BTC is 120,000? It could possibly happen, depending how fast it goes up there. If it goes up there relatively quickly, I think that's going to definitely pump the miners as well. But if it's more of a gradual increase with some downsides, it might be a little bit tougher at that point. But I could definitely see that happening. Let's see here. Cleanspark should be worth mid-20s today, let alone 120,000. I agree. I agree. B82 here. What will be announced at the conference on Friday by the administration? That they're working, on getting. I don't know what's going to be really announced. I'm guessing just that they're working on a strategic crypto reserve. I guess maybe they'll include some things that they're including. How much they're going to maybe put to it? Don't know. We'll have to wait and see what that comes out as. Okay, question here. What has Trump done that's different than what we already know? Has the reserve been established? If not, then we all have gotten in new information about the new coins will be added. I don't know if there's anything different. The only thing, Cynthia Loomis is working on a Bitcoin strategic reserve or just maybe a crypto reserve there. Don't know, but that's being progressed. And we need that to happen in order for it to become a law. Trump could do an executive order where he just says, whatever coins we have already, those are going to be put on a strategic reserve for the time being, but that doesn't mean that they can buy more. They can only hold on to what they have or what they seize from nefarious parties or, people that have made criminal mistakes, right? So they seize those. They can use that. Other than that, the only problem with that is the next president that comes in, he could reverse that. So we really need a law in place for that to happen. And that's really what I'm hoping that they do. Let's see. Hi, Seb. I bought miners BTC and ETH on Friday, so I'm happy. A question. Are you bullish for the crypto summit this week? Thanks. I don't know how much of a pump the crypto summit will have this week. But I'm bullish in general, right? I thought that 75,000 was going to be the bottom for us last week. And sure enough, it seems like it's playing out that way, at least right now. I don't see a reason for us to go lower than that anytime soon here. And I think we're going to be going up. We might, like I said, with the CME futures gap here that we have today over the weekend. That's why I don't like a lot of, I wish you would have just waited until tomorrow to provide those tweets instead of sending those out on Sunday. But that gives us the CME futures gap. I don't like having that. I know historically it likes to get filled I wouldn't say all the time, but majority of the time it likes to get filled. So I don't really like that. That's why I'm saying we might see a little bit of a pullback tomorrow when the markets will really open up. Okay, Alessandro says, honestly, still disappointing to be in the miners based on BTC we thought the miners would be up higher from where they are right now. I would agree with you there. Question here, BitDigital is an ETH major holder to benefit Epic with strategic reserve thoughts. It definitely is going to help them out, right? So depending how much they put on the strategic reserve there and ETH, that should help them out. But I'm still more of a Bitcoin maxi. I think if they held more Bitcoin, I think that would have been a better play there. Yes, they're getting yield on the Ethereum that they hold there and stake. So it's giving them something at least. B82 says, rolled my options in Cleanspark and bought IREN, Hive, Bitfarms, also a few Mara calls. Very nice. So you guys were shopping on Friday. What do you think of Hut 8's earnings tomorrow? They're going to get some gains out of the HODL that they have there, right, with the FSB rules. So they're going to take advantage of that. So they should, in theory, be earnings per share positive, unless they throw in a bunch of stuff for depreciation, share-based compensation, things like that. All right, question, do you think BTC can dump back to the 80s now in March? Well, with that gap on CME futures, I think there's always a possibility of that. So always be prepared for that if it does happen. Have some cash on the side maybe just to buy in at the, if and when that does happen. Question here, could you look at Soluna? What would you like to know about Soluna? I know Soluna, the company mining there. Let's see if I think I have them over here someplace, or no, I don't. I don't even have them as ones that I'm tracking. I know that they're a smaller miner. They're also getting into HPC AI and hosting, things like that. They've done a pretty good job of turning things around here in the last year or so. But I really don't track that one. Question, does the action on the reserve change your thoughts, BTC, following the previous cycle, or will this lead to a more stable product? I think in time it will lead to a more stable product where we might not see those drawdowns of 70% in the bear market. We might just be in an extended cycle this time around. Might. I'm saying it's not a given. There's no given in life. But it does seem to be like there might be a chance where we actually have an extended cycle, meaning Bitcoin goes up, maybe slower, but longer in a time span. So instead of having this huge parabolic rises that we've seen in the past, it will just, basically step up over time as time progresses, I guess you could say. As far as being bullish, I'm definitely still bullish on things, but you didn't ask about bullish. Reserve, does it change your thoughts on BTC? It doesn't really change my thoughts. The ETFs definitely have changed my thoughts as far as where Bitcoin could go. I think that was more of a catalyst going forward. Then we have, obviously now, potentially the crypto strategic reserve there. How much will they be buying? The states also. So there's just a lot of adoption. I love seeing the adoption happening. That's going to bode well for us here in the future. It's not going to be a straight up, shot to the moon. It's going to be stepping stones, basically. You're going to step up a little bit. You're going to come back down. You're going to step up. It's going to take a while. Without an actual SBR or crypto reserve, this tweet by Trump is just hype. Kind of like how the market used to react when Musk tweeted about Doge. I think BTC fills the gap. Okay, that's why I said that there's always a possibility that could happen, right? Tomorrow when the markets open up, we could possibly definitely see that happening. Okay, question, will the market still push up Cleanspark on positive EPS even if it's a quarter-over-quarter decline due to fluctuations in BTC over this quarter? What more important to the market, plus EPS or uptrending EPS? What's more important to the market, positive EPS or uptrending EPS? I don't know. Depending where Bitcoin ends up, right? So we still have a full month to go before we end this current quarter. So what if Bitcoin does go up to 120,000, 130,000, 140,000 by the end of the month? Their FASB is going to be better because of it, right? Bitcoin was at 90, I think it closed at 96,000, whatever it was at the end of Q4. This quarter, if it's up another 30-40%, that's going to bode well for the FSB that they have there. So the HODL position helps out. Plus, they have stated that they should be EPS positive without the HODL as well, without the FSB valuations there. So that should improve things as well. So we'll have to wait and see where just Bitcoin ends up this month at. Okay. Question, did you hear about David Sachs, New Cryptos Hour, is the first investor of BITW and has the same coins in portfolio as Trump's post? I did not, no. But I know David Sachs. I've been following the guy for quite a while, mainly from the All In podcast there. Question, pre-halving, I heard speculation about miner consolidation, but I am not aware of much taking place. Will this change soon or just all keep chasing each other in hash rate? I think they're going to all keep chasing. There might be some consolidation happening here later on, especially with maybe the smaller miners. But some of the big guys here, I mean, we're seeing Bitfarms buying Stronghold, right? So there's one. We had also, what was it? Cleanspark bought Grid, I think. So there's some consolidation there. We had also Riot by Block. I think it's Block that they bought, Block Mining. So there's been some consolidation. Not to the extent that, I don't know if we were promised it, but not to the extent that we heard about. They were talking about, you're going to see huge consolidation in the space, over the last 2 years. Well, that didn't really play out. We saw some consolidation, but not that much. I think you're better off, for the most part, expanding your operations naturally, growing it through organically, buying sites from private miners. You can get better deals probably that way. Also, just building out, that's probably even better as well. Okay, next question here. Do you think the establishment of a SBR means the end of crypto winter? I think we might have an extended cycle because of it, but I don't think that, depending on what do you call it, crypto winter would be like 70-80% drawdowns, right? Maybe we don't see those. Maybe we just see the 30% corrections that we're seeing here recently, 30-35%. Maybe we'll get down to 40% on some of this stuff here. But as you have more and more adoption happening, more countries putting Bitcoin on their reserves, companies, everything else, right? Could that just be pumping the stock up even further? And then we have these kind of smaller corrections throughout the next couple of years. Maybe. Question, think we'll be in the green tomorrow? Well, that depends on the market. We're down a little bit right now. We're down 1.43% on the new day. It looks like so. Miners should catch a good bid up because of Bitcoin going up almost $8,000 here in one day. And then with the tweet from Trump, that should bode well. So we'll see. All right, but the market makers are going to be still trying to manipulate their way into everything that they can. They're still going to possibly try to dump Bitcoin down, get the CME futures gap filled, possibly. So we'll have to wait and see what happens tomorrow. But like I said, if it dips, I would be buying again. I might have a couple more thousand I can probably throw into the market before I'm completely out. So I might buy again if that does happen. All right, question here, Seb, when miners hold all Bitcoin mined, how do they meet their monthly expenses? Well, do you have dilutions, ATMs, or you have the convertible notes? That's one way that they can do it as well, but that's kind of the way that they do it, more or less. Okay. Do you think the Stronghold merger in Q1 after the positive vote? Yeah, I still think it's going to happen here. We have a month left. That should be enough time for them to get the merger done. They were talking about getting it done in the first quarter. We'll see if it gets done. But they still have plenty of time here. Especially, how is Cleanspark having positive EPS without HODL? Well, that's one of the things that they've stated there in the conference. Was it the conference call or something? I can't remember where. But I heard them saying that they are going to be getting to a point where they should be EPS positive without the HODL. Just from operations, right? Getting to scale. That's basically how. Let's see. Lucian says, tariffs could ruin the rally. Yeah, absolutely. There's always a chance of that as well. Question, what will be found at Fort Knox? Any chance Trump converts gold for BTC? I doubt that he would convert that. But what will be found in there? Cobwebs? I don't know. That hasn't been audited since, probably back, I can't remember when. I know it's been probably like 50 years or something like that. It hasn't been audited. So definitely needs an audit there. It needs some eyes looking into it. Right, let's see here. Grok3 says the most accurate Bitcoin analyst on X has been Plan B and his forecast, assuming an SBR is that BTC gets to 500,000 before Trump leaves office. Okay, so in the next basically 4 years. All right, I could see that. Possibly. That'd be great. Next 4 years, being at 500,000. So if we can get to 150,000, 200,000 this year, get to 300,000 next year, 400 the following year, and then 500. Okay, definitely go for that. All right, I think I've come to all your guys' questions here, looks like. So we'll see what, I mean, right now, it's just a waiting game, more or less. Patience. We'll see where the miners go. We'll see where everything else goes as well. On that, we'll see what kind of news Trump comes out with tariffs, whether he's going to postpone those again or if they're going to go in effect. How will the other countries retaliate on that? It's definitely a lot of uncertainty right now in the markets, that's for sure. Let's see. B82 says, I heard it is valued at $35 per ounce. Gold is trading at... Yeah, I don't think that they revalue it. I heard the same thing. And then YOLO Gambler says, how will it be decided which crypto makes it to the reserve? That I don't know. Maybe we'll find that out on when they have the conference call, or not the conference, when they have the meeting there on Friday, I think it is. So we'll maybe just find out more details at that point. But tomorrow's another day. We'll see where Bitcoin goes, right? Keep an eye on the CME futures gap. See if that gets filled. We'll get the updates from the miners as well tomorrow. So we'll get cracking into that as well. So it's going to be definitely fun. We're still waiting on a couple miners to report, I think. What is it? HUT reporting tomorrow. Maybe somebody else. And that's it. We'll cover it all. Whatever happens, we'll get into it. All right. So thank you again for coming in as always. Hope you have a wonderful week. Hopefully it's going to be a much better week than we had last week. And yeah, just love you all for coming in. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.